Let's discuss. Hey everyone, it's Rachel back again with another video, and today I will be checking out a new track from Sleep Token called Vore. The album announcement is finally here. Take Me Back to Eden is coming on May 19th of this year. I've covered all the singles on the channel, and I have been loving them. I know it's not a popular opinion, but Aqua Regia ended up being my favorite, although I love the summoning like most other people who enjoy Sleep Token do. There's something special about Aqua to me. That chorus sticks with me a lot. I just really enjoy it. So very keen to check out another new track. As you can see, if you do watch my videos normally, I've got another setup going so that I could be faster with my reactions and do a bit more streaming than I've been able to. So here we are. It's a little bit different, but sometimes I'll be here, sometimes I'll be at my other setup. Regardless, we have the video coming. Sleep Token, Vore, I'll link all of their social media, the pre-orders for the album, all that in the description. Other than that, I'm going to stop talking. We are going to get straight into it. Like walking the line of black metal vocals. Kicks are kicking, baby. I'm awake. Man, what? I like that you have no idea where it'll go. Many different approaches on these singles. Ugh. No. All the way up. Bye. Sleep Token, Vore. Let's discuss. To be honest, I did not really think that they could beat Sundowning. Like, going into This Place Will Become Your Tomb, I tried to have that mental note for me, like, do not compare this to Sundowning. It's from the singles, like, very different. But with this, I already feel like it's possible, and it's pretty premature, I think, to say, because if you listen to that record in full, or you know what I'm talking about. It's a very large record. It has a lot of range to it, but with this, somehow they can put that out as their debut, and then they can do something like This Place Will Become Your Tomb, and then go into this, which is looking to be more in the Sundowning, that vein, I think, when it comes to the range, the surprises, not having no idea what to expect. While I felt like This Place Will Become Your Tomb is a bit more cohesive, it flows a little bit more in one direction, though there is some of that, it has some of that range still. It's just a little bit more condensed for what Sleep Token we saw that they can do with their debut album. When you go into the EPs, I think those are meant to be like a bit cohesive as well, because they're shorter. They, I'm not going to go too far into that. But anyway, going into this song right away with those vocals, you're getting into more black gaze territory, sort of the black metal style of vocals, which it can often be a bit hit or miss for me. A band that does it that I really like is Love Is Noise. They put out the track Azure, I think, towards the beginning of last year. And when I heard that, it was like, oh, another band that does something like that, I think, is Blanket. That really works for me. A lot of times when we get into vocals that have a bit more distortion to them, especially with, no, not especially, just in general, that territory is sort of hit or miss more than anything else in style of vocals that I can really enjoy or not so much. That tends to be a real, a point of discussion for me a lot, but I was not expecting that in the slightest. I think that I do need to stop. I've said that going into Sleep Token, you should not expect anything, because they have been really exceeding those expectations and kind of surprising a lot, even with the ground they laid out, is what I guess I'm trying to say in so many words for whatever reason. But with this track going straight into that style of scream, I was surprised by that. It did feel even more distorted, towards the end of the song, which it felt a little bit different between the sections there, which I liked. I think going straight into it with as much distortion and kind of difficulty making out what's being said and stuff like that. For me with Sleep Token, I don't know how much I would love that on a normal basis, but I just loved the way it was incorporated with the songs. We still get the vessel highs that I love to talk about. It's such a identifiable trait, I think. He has a very distinct voice anyhow. I don't think it's hard to, but with this, that was the screams were things that I had not heard from this band before, and was like, who is that? Whereas, you know, you get into the clean portions, the singing, and it's like, I know exactly who that is, if that makes sense for what I'm trying to express here. I think production-wise, this also has point, like, because if it were to be very, which it would not be probably being Sleep Token, but on a track that's very straightforward, like Black Gaze, that sort of thing, I think it kind of, you can still do stuff with that sort of production. Blanket is a really good example of that as well. I think Azure, that the song that I was talking about by Love Is Noise, it has that chorus that sort of allows contrast, but doesn't really give the same moments that this song gives for those lighter details, those small things that you can hear with a good pair of headphones. I think you can really get what I'm talking about if you just listen through with a good pair of headphones and kind of pay attention to what's going on outside of the main things grabbing your attention. That stuff is so important because I've talked about with This Place Will Become Your Tomb, Atlantic being just one of those tracks that sticks out to me as some of my favorite production. The end, the outro of it, just everything that you can hear, it's just so well done. But this is a completely different sort of, I don't want to say that it's completely different in its production because it does have some similarities, but I think like when you listen to tracks like Missing Limbs and stuff, it's a bit different than the style, which makes sense with the changes that have been made, but the style that we're getting on these newer tracks, there's just so much going on, but also those details that they've kept in their music are still there, which I feel is very important, I suppose, is the best way to say that. I've already carried on for way longer than I intended to without touching on everything that I wanted to. Man, this is really going to be one of my most anticipated alongside Invent Animate. I think the more that comes out and kind of shows the range that we're being given with this album, the more excited I am. Sundowning is one of my favorite albums ever. It's just got so much to it, and listening to it in full is quite an experience, and I still it's one of those albums I think I'll remember the first time I listened to it for a very long time, if not forever. I was just so taken back by how quick it could change, but how well it worked, that sort of thing, and I think that's really what we're getting with Take Me Back to Eden, which I love to see, obviously, as what I just said. There are definitely some things I probably want to touch on that I will not after only one listen to this track, but I do think when it comes to the things I'm normally looking for, which would be drumming, too has become one of my favorite drummers. As after seeing them live, what you hear recorded, it's what you get live. It is quite an experience to see. That was something of their performance. It's the energy of everybody, really. Everybody in the band has a ton of energy, but when it comes to the musicianship and such, I was just enamored by the drumming that in a live setting on everything from hearing Hypnosis last year. Was it last year? I don't think it was last year. The year before. Time is kind of blurring together for me since I've created the YouTube channel. The pandemic, things like that. I don't know. Whenever that was another track that was just like Alkaline. When that came out, that was before Hypnosis too. So those tracks, there's never been a release that they've had, I don't think, that didn't stand out, but it seems to be just more and more something that I'm so drawn to and is very a focus point, I suppose. Vocals are another obvious thing. When it comes to their live performance, though, there is really like not one of them that you can go wrong with, kind of. Like it's a full experience of the band, I'll just say. Definitely, if you can see them live, do so. This track with the production, it has what I'm looking for in those moments that I was mentioning before. I'm just very happy with what these singles have given us thus far. I know it's been such a topic of conversation, like, oh, I don't like Sleep Token, I do. Not everything is for everybody, I don't think, but for those that do enjoy Sleep Token, or those that are just getting into Sleep Token, I think it's really fun, and there is so much that you could talk about when it comes to this band. So let me know what you thought in the comments, what your favorite single has been. I need more time before I can decide where this will go in the mix of them for me. I think just in general, more time listening to them, but I'm very, very excited for this album, as I mentioned. Pre-order links and all of that I will link in the description of the video. Other than that, you can also find my Linktree, which will have the Patreon. I've been working on the content, going to be working on getting some more streams going just on the channel in general, but also for Patreon. Coming up with a monthly episode of some sort that I'll put a poll on the page for. that sort of stuff. So if you're interested, go ahead and check that out there. The Discord server invite link is also in the link tree. The Discord server is where the community is based for my YouTube channel. We've got a bunch of music lovers in there, wonderful people, chat about music, chats about not music as well. We've got different channels for different things. So if you're interested in coming and join, check out the community that will be there. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.